This is a certified hood classic.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm licking it.
All rise, order in the court. It is talking a cat.
Where'd that cat come from? We were just talking a second ago. There wasn't no cat. Where'd that cat come from?
I don't know where Colty came up and say
Oh
hi.
my
and,
God.
do a little rubbing. Hey, bud. What's up?
Cat.
What's
Cat
up,
just-
dude?
Cat just appears out of nowhere, Daddy.
Lloyd Braun came and hung out during the we got a jackpot last night.
Wow.
Talking about, hey, have you ever used a pot or pan to use as a lid, dude? Hello, Wendy. Good to see everybody jumping in on this. For us, very, very cold in the Carolinas today. I was just talking. I think we're about the same. I'm at like 33 degrees. I think it's freezing.
I woke up this morning and it was 28.
Ew. I woke up this morning and my fountain was completely froze. Froze. I live in the South. That's fine. I can talk like
It's
that.
froze, man. You can't go
froze.
nowhere in that.
It's frozen. And the pump is just and so I didn't make a trip to
Happens.
this week.
Happens.
Whoops. Anyway, so guess who's back?
Yeah.
again.
So if you're new here, down below you'll see a link to the very first appearance of this young lady right here.
Oh, you can't forget that lady. Oh, geez.
All right, so she brought her neighbor to court. She wanted a TPO, all the whole song and dance. This is sitting up against her fence, and if you look up there on the hill, there is a wooden fence, and he would put signs up there.
Yeah.
Allegedly meant for her. Stuff like, I think it was something like mental health matters or something like that.
Yeah, and I think that I think that like the signs are so big that he puts out like bed sheets basically. Like spray paints on them.
And she even had made a claim, Creed, that he had ran her off the road, and she fell and broke her neck. And
yes, that's why
it's a whole big thing. So, if you're new, you've got to watch that video. The link is right down below. The very first appearance of the Party family. And they decided they're coming back. Why not? And this time they're coming guns a-blazing. If we remember, her husband is an attorney, which we were blown away by that fact.
Yeah.
Just by it's some would call it a erratic behavior we had going on during this case. It's a doozy. It's one for the books.
Yeah,
So-
she's very cuckoo, we'll say.
Allegedly.
Sure. No, not allegedly.
She's very litigious as well. So we say allegedly a lot.
She
allegedly.
Yeah, she was. Was it Paisley that said that about I've got one of those I've got a couple of those things that go all the way across your tub. Emily loves hers. Emily has like this whole spread when she's in the tub. It's like this wooden thing that goes across the tub.
Hot Pocket.
Oh, she's got drinks. No, we don't. No, this is a Hot Pocket.
Capri Sun.
This is a Hot Pocket free house. No Hot Pockets here. Those things are disgusting. Nothing to them.
Big plate of pizza rolls and maybe some bagel bites.
Oh, pizza rolls are all right. Bagel bites,
too hard for me.
Bagel bites, yeah. I think it's too much for the teeth. You know what I mean, Chris? Too much for the teeth. Where's Clay? We could have a chat.
Also, you'll see that there is a Credence and Mikey logo up there on the field of play.
Why is that? Has somebody been?
There's a child next to her.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't feel comfortable with a under 18 person's face being shown on the screen, so that will be there the entire time, covering up the child's face.
I thought that might be a little stamp for anybody that might want this video.
Even though how great it was, there was at one point in this video I was watching, just skimming through it, and she's just talking up there, and next to her you see the kid go, smell their armpit during court.
Nice.
And it made me laugh so hard. I said, "Oh, unfortunately, I'm gonna cover this kid's face up." But
I was laughing last night because I was watching PBA bowling, thanks to YouTube that cuts it all up. You know, so you can just see the bowling and what's going on. So there's not all the rest of it, but there was a, I don't know, a teen girl right in the shot every single time, and she couldn't stop yawning. It was so funny because, you know, they try to amp it up, you know what I mean? And she's just back there going the whole time. It was very funny. Anyways.
But yeah, so they brought back the same neighbor, the same problems, and the judge will even allude to the last time they came into court. They, I guess, kind of had lambasted the other judge that had made the decision, because I'm pretty sure, I mean, I don't want to give any spoilers, but they weren't happy with the decision from the first time around. So we're back in it again. Nice. And if you've seen this case on another channel yesterday, good on you. But you haven't seen it here. So don't be giving spoilers. Don't be saying a bunch of this, that, and the other. If you've already seen it, okay, we get it. Go watch the first time. I bet you haven't seen that.
And for real, we usually don't say this, especially while we're live. If you haven't seen the first one, I wouldn't even watch this live.
I kind of would. Yeah, I would kind of go watch that one first.
Yeah.
And then you'll know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, it's worth it, because she's
oh, crazy. And let's remember, guys, her husband is her attorney. Yeah. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
And for the record, and Shannon Pardee, a petitioner in 23-000378. Mr. Eden is the respondent. And then in the case 23-00435, Mr. Eden's a petitioner. Ms. Pardee's, both parties are respondents.
Parties.
In that
welcome,
case,
Julianne.
This isn't a new situation.
My God.
Well, somewhat new to me, I think.
That's terrible.
Speaking of terrible, are you
both
nuts?
Mr. Eden and the Pardees have been listed as petitioners and respondents in a few cases in the past involving each other. No permanent order has been entered. As far as I can tell, feel free to, either party can stand to correct me. The last time you were in court was in, well, there was a case that was filed in November 17th. But it looks like,
hey, Natalie D,
that was dismissed. I think the last time folks were actually in court speaking to the judicial officer was in August. And so a lot has been filed. Some of the things predate the August filing, which I think has already been litigated. I'm not too interested in any of that. Although I did review what was filed, some videos, which frankly a lot of videos don't reflect well on any of the parties who are in front of me here today. Ms. Pardee, and I'll start with you first. You're the petitioner.
Again, that's why you watch that video that's down below.
0378. Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
You can put your hand down. And how is it that you need an order against Mr. Eden?
Oh, yeah. Wasn't there there was something about, what was that?
He was living outside the house. Yeah, I look, I almost made Creed get on early and us watching it the first time as a refresher. But I was like, this might be too much, because there's so much. I mean, you guys can go back and watch it on your own, but there's a lot to unpack, because the husband wasn't living in the house. And
that's right.
Husband's the attorney.
There's so many good. I think even if you've watched it, even if you watched that part one before, it's worth.
And if you're me or Creed, when you go back and watch it and you see people's names that aren't here anymore, that decide they weren't part of our community. Yeah, Natalie has a great channel too. You need to go check her out. She's far easier to look at than me and Creed.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Kay. Kay has a channel too. Look, everybody here has a channel. Just let you know now. But yeah, so it's really bonkers. Go back and watch that. Her in the net brace and everything. It's such a it's a mess. Hey.
And like I say, what I'm going to be interested in is things that have happened since the last time you were in court. I think a judge made a ruling. pretty much the things up to there. Go ahead.
Everything I've submitted to you has been recent. And it's not any old stuff. This is a continuing, ongoing issue. Mr. Eden doesn't stop.
I would like you to testify as to the specific things that are in the record. So just tell me what's been going on out there.
When I try to leave our home, Mr. Eden has a sign up above with these bright lights flooded right at the exit of our driveway on a fence that he put up illegally in the beginning of the year. It just said, and it's just to annoy. There's chairs there. You can't see when you leave. When we're trying to leave, he throws up his middle finger, calls me a fucking cunt.
Whoa!
Try to go out of this way like I've written to you. 15-year-old kid in the morning going to school, and he's out there screaming, calling me a fucking cunt, and giving us the finger.
Okay, listen, that's bad, obviously. That's a bad thing to do, but this lady's sitting there with a kid right there.
Yeah, what are you doing? Get this kid out the room again. We're not just advertising, guys. There's a kid
like we didn't hear it the first time. We gotta say it twice. Right.
A double banger. Bam, bam. Woo, that hits you right in the face early in the morning, Daddy.
Guess we need a little
baby, calm down.
Viewer discretion is advised if any kids are around. Shannon, we're talking to you, Miss Party.
Party potty mouth.
What was right? I wasn't ready for that. Boy, we are starting right
double
off.
Barrels in the face.
Do I understand it right that the lights are not actually lighting anything, but like in their face?
It sounds like he's built yet another fence.
Yeah, illegally.
Since the last time we were there. And he's put lights on it. And they point at her driveway. Oh boy.
Last week when I was trying to take the kid to school, I don't even know if I've had a chance to write this to submit it. As we're passing his house, it's 5:43 in the morning.
Oh, by the way, I also want to add, he's not wrong with that assessment.
No.
I'm taking the kid to school because he goes early for gym. And this guy's up in his house as we're passing with a spotlight, spotlighting us through the window.
Like a deer.
Did you know how bright a spotlight is? And besides the fact that Mr. Eden knows that I have a light disorder and a sensory disorder.
I have a light disorder.
What?
She has a light disorder and a sensory disorder.
Dude has found all her weaknesses. He is exploiting. I mean, if ever a villain had nothing but weaknesses, she would be it, because this guy is hitting her from all sides. Light weaknesses, sound weaknesses, sign weaknesses.
She got a party mouth.
To that, as well as noise, and he keeps on. It's childish, Your Honor. He's mad about his land disturbance issue, and he keeps trying to create some issue where I haven't spoken to him, talked to him, nothing since before summer of 2022. All of these incidents are simply Mr. Eden either running out of his driveway, running down the road, anything at my kids. The kids leave the front door. He's out there yelling, calling him a fag and giving him a finger. We have a locked gate to keep away from him. We go to the gate. There he is giving us the finger. The video I submitted to you, giving the finger. The man cannot leave us alone. He drives past the house to give him the finger. Matthew was home the other night by himself. He went to empty the fireplace ashes in the garbage can that was up by the road because the garbage hasn't come yet. And I get home and Matthew says, Mom, I'm just emptying the ashes. And he drives past, giving me the finger, yelling, fuck you.
Okay, hold on. Stop. Okay. All of us have weaknesses to light. I don't like light shining in my face either. And I don't like loud noises all that much. But two things wrong with that statement. Don't be putting your fire ashes into your trash can. What if there was a hot ember in there and sets the whole thing on fire? Don't do that.
Yeah, I thought you just dumped them in the back.
And secondly, is there a law against doing this? I mean,
I don't think so at all. No, I wouldn't think so anyways, but who knows? I mean, it could be harassment. I don't know.
I don't like that he's using the other bad word.
Well,
but the middle finger.
Watch. Also, I'd take those ashes and put them over on his property. What the hell's she doing here?
Yeah.
Fight a war. Yeah. Jeff, H, or Easy.
Easy.
2 votes. Thank you.
12. Mr. Eden does not live in a family home. He lives in his mother's house. He's not a resident of this community. He doesn't care about this community, and he's angry because we have to file a land use action because
Valid
he
point.
filled in an entire hill and it's now flooding my property. So not only am I subjected to his torment every day when I try to go to the grocery store, get my kid to school, I can't even have a caregiver now. The state will not send out a caregiver because he keeps harassing my care people. What gives him the right to yell at my guests, my company, my care people, my medical professionals? And now I have to go around and protect all these? I can't. He will not stop. He's at that driveway over the hill all the time. So now I cannot, I'm supposed to have surgery. I need care people, and they cannot, they will not come to me. I'm in the middle of this. The one guy's so afraid he won't even make a statement because he doesn't want Mr. Eden to know where he lives or who he is. And now I have to deal with Adult Protective Services because I'm a vulnerable adult. They have to come out here because the caregivers won't come out because Mr. Eden won't leave him alone. This is new. This isn't old stuff.
Do you really think that he's going after even the caretakers and stuff?
Yeah, I find that. I mean, does this guy not have a job at all? If I remember correctly, the guy was married and had like a business, like a trash business or a dump truck business or some sort of business.
Let's not forget. Yeah, no, this dude's he's no saint.
Oh, no. He just hates.
No saint by
they have just brought this. I mean, look at the way she's pointing at the camera right now.
God, it's yelling at her.
It's to the boiling point now. If I just don't see this guy has nothing to do but sit there all day long and yell at them. I think he's got a job, man.
Gary.
A business, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he said construction or something. I don't remember exactly what he said.
It was a manly job.
Yeah. And the dude's he's out at like what, 4:30, 5:30 in the morning going to work out. Good for him.
Yeah, no shit.
His BS saying that I don't behave or I've done this and that. This is all just recent. Even yesterday, he's still up there. Finger, music, noise. Who runs? One, we live in a residential neighborhood. This guy runs his dump truck for up to an hour at a time, filling it full of noise and diesel smoke. I mean, it's awful. Fine, I'll take care of that. But in the interim, by not giving me an order, it's subjecting our kids to constant emotional abuse.
She seems pretty sturdy for being vulnerable.
Did you have any additional witnesses you wish to have testify?
I do not.
Now that very well could be Lisa B. Very good.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a litany of reasons why these caregivers don't want to come back. She's vulnerable. I'm wondering if the husband's moved back in. I got a feeling he hasn't. I got almost a feeling that he's living on the shoulder of the road still. But she did say something about there's a land dispute and that water is running from, because he lives on a hill. Yeah. And she's saying the water is running down the hill and flooding where she lives.
Yeah. And she said that he's building more of the hill. Like he's making it a bigger hill.
Yeah, man. You know, again, it sounds like this is, and she said it went bad in 2022. So before that, were they friends? Interesting. The land dispute.
No offense, Your Honor, but I haven't exactly felt heard by you. So no.
Okay, I'm going to stop you for a second. You haven't.
That is so dumb. Wow. Now we're going to go after him too. The one that's going to be deciding everything.
He just lets you run off at the mouth nonstop.
Yeah.
And then asks you, hey, is there anybody else you want to testify? And she says, no. I guess she was kind of stunned, I think, in a way. Like, and then she's like, I don't think you've been listening to me. Look at her husband. Her husband's like,
yeah, he just looked away because he knows how dumb that is.
Ma'am, stop, please. Yeah, you haven't been in front of me. I haven't heard any of these cases. So you're not offending me because I haven't decided any of these cases. So don't worry about that. But I just want to clarify.
No, she was talking about right now, Judge.
Judge, you sat in any of these cases.
But I didn't drag anybody down here because I didn't think that you would let them be heard.
What?
Okay.
Why are we judging the judge before we even go in front of him? Why would you?
You're claiming you didn't bring witnesses because you thought the judge was a dick? Is that what we're saying now? I expect you being a complete ass, Judge. I didn't bring any of these caregivers down here.
Those of you asking about if she's a Karen, she's on a whole other level of Karen.
By the way, Creed, we got yelled at the other day. I put Karen in the title of the video. So they said, can you not find a better word than that, you misogynistic asshole? And I'm like, oh,
misogynistic asshole. That is a term now that's probably going to go into a dictionary somewhere.
I can't believe I was called those horrible words.
So let me hear from Mr. Eden. Mr. Eden, could you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear and affirm that testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and you're asking for an order against both parties. I'll hear from you, and again, on new information, things that that have happened since the last time you were in court.
That's how I take it.
With regard to both parties, and then you can respond to what Ms. Pardee had said, and then Ms. Pardee, I'll come back to you, and you can. I'll allow you to respond to what I hear from Mr. Eden. And Mr. Pardee, he's listed as a respondent, so I can hear from him also in the case brought by Mr. Eden. So Mr. Eden, go ahead. You've been sworn, so
yes,
I'll hear from you.
Obviously, you can see what I'm dealing with. I think we should call all those people in. Absolutely. They need to be, if they're her witnesses, they need to be here present for this, because none of this has happened. 99% of the stuff that she has told the courts today has happened. I have not done any of these things.
Well, hang on just a second. I did see some video, which what appeared to me is you, for lack of a better term, giving her the finger. I mean, did you not see
that? Is that my cell phone or is that the finger?
It looked to me like the finger.
Going up my driveway the day I got it filmed?
You was there, it looked like when I saw it.
On the 29th.
When you were, and again, I can't remember the date right now, but
it was the 29th.
It looked like you were walking.
Yes, it was the 29th. I was at Lana's, her neighbors.
And I saw something with some cell phone too.
Yes, the neighbor locked herself out of her car. I walked over to help her. I was over there helping her. The tow truck driver showed up. Lana and her have an ongoing thing also. She just recently, last year, 2023, chased Aubrey with a rake, and there's a police report on that.
I don't know who
No, she chased my neighbor, Lana. So I was at Lana's house, that's next door to Shannon Pardee's house. They have an ongoing argument going also. Shannon ended up chasing her daughter, Lana's daughter, Aubrey, with a rake. There's a police report on this.
Oh, yeah?
Another neighbor, Cindy Guppy, she's also chased their child down the road and wanted to press charges for burglary charges.
So we're painting a picture, which I am not shocked at all. I'm not surprised that she's kind of a menace with everybody in the neighborhood. That sounds about right. I'm not
she's got herself quite the fan club there in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But if you hear her talk about it, everybody hates him in the neighborhood. I mean, she almost made it like, he's the menace, but I mean, she's out here chasing youngins with rakes.
And let's be honest, there's probably a really good reason why she doesn't have anybody in here to testify on her behalf. Just guessing.
Maybe they're scared of her.
An autistic child was in their driveway. I mean, she has police reports with all the neighbors around her. It's just not me, Your Honor. I mean, this is ongoing. The lady in her backyard, she calls the fat, fleshy arm lady, ongoing. I mean, it's just, all my neighbors, I've been neighbors with these people 30, 40 years. They're afraid of her because what you're seeing here in this court today is what they do not want to get involved in. We've been in this process for over a year now.
I can see that.
And they just she can't control herself. Every time we go home after a court date, Judge Wool or Commissioner Wool, she bashed him on Facebook. And just, if you read did you read it? It was in my exhibits. I mean, just tore him apart. Anytime that she's not happy with anyone, she just goes after him. She went after Evergreen Shores Homeowner Association, sued them for years. She makes all this stuff up. None of this stuff is really true. Maybe a little bit. Like I said, 99% of it isn't. Then after her and Bill lost that case, she went after the people that were on the board, Each individual ones had lawsuits against them. And John and Jessica Knudsen were on the board for Evergreen Shores. They were her neighbors at one time also. They have foster children. She attacked them also, turned them into CPS. I mean, this woman cannot stop with the neighbors. Jessica Knudsen and John actually moved because of Shannon. I mean, this is an ongoing thing with everyone. Now she's sitting there trying to sit there. She's trying to bring me into Superior Court over some land issue. She said, I filled my yard in. And that was in 2007. I had a grading permit because I did some work on my yard. I brought some topsoil for landscaping. They didn't move into their home till late 2014-15. They're going back through public records, anything she can do to sabotage me and my business, saying that I'm trying to run them over in my dump truck. I got dates here that she put on her declaration stating on Friday, 10/56, November 17th, her kid was outside in the yard and I was saying, hey, these dates, I wasn't even in town. I was out of state, or not out of state. I was on the other side in Eastern Washington. I mean, and I could prove it. I have videos, pictures. I mean, this woman cannot stop. And Bill knows it. And Bill is forced to protect her. And the Evergreen Shores, everyone's watching this. This is huge. She got
wait. All right. Just so you know, just keep in mind what he just said. That's the husband down here, Bill Hardy. Bill is
her attorney and her husband.
Forced. And last time, he spoke. I don't know.
I think he came across better than she did last time, but
he definitely did. But at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, he seemed a little bit hesitant as to really talk great about her character, if you will. My God.
The lady with the big, fat, flabby arms.
Yes, I love that one. That's so great. Chris, thank you for the 2 buckaroos.
The Evergreen Shores board out there, she was on the board. If she wanted to address any issues at that time, she could have addressed them when she was on the board. And now she's attacking me because she has it out for me, and she will not leave me alone. This is what she does. This is free training for Miss Pardee. She enjoys this. She builds her cases more and more and more. The more she can do this and drag it out. And anyone in any of her cases, even when I talked to the lawyer for Evergreen Shores Homicide, she was there. She's going to hold this. She's going to continue this as long as she can, Mr. Eden. This is what she did to us. It was a painful draw, and oh my God, it never stops. And I wish I could bring all my neighbors in, but they're so afraid of her, of going through the same thing I'm going through right now. But yeah, they're pulling things out that court cases that have been closed. This has been thrown out twice. I have nothing to do with her children. This is between Miss Pardee not getting her way, and poor Bill over there has to stick up for her.
Bill.
The guy lives in his car.
Poor Bill.
Okay, well, Bill lives in his car outside the gate half the time, sleeping in his car. She doesn't allow him to sleep in the house. They're married supposedly, but he's not allowed to live there. He hasn't lived there for years. She has a problem with Bill. She has a problem with her children. I just witnessed a possible overdose attempt by her oldest son, Jonathan.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Kids. They have been mentally abused for years. And you could probably ask her adult children. They've been through the same thing with her. So, I had to contact the Thurston County Police because I witnessed something that I was concerned that Jonathan might have possibly overdosed. She was begging her husband to take Jonathan to the hospital because he took a bunch of Benadryl and some other stuff, and she wasn't sure. Bill was like saying, get in the house. She kept saying, no, take him to the hospital. Bill walked the kid up the driveway, and the kid says, I don't want to go to the hospital. Bill goes, we're not going to the hospital. But this goes on. The little kid comes up and pleads.
Are all the kids around listening?
Yeah. So we hear some chatter, and she's talking back to them. So I don't know if it's just the one child next or the others. This again. The swearing is one thing, but for the kids to have to sit here and hear all of this, and the truth about the father, what he's saying, anyways, allegedly, that ain't right.
And if you're just getting here, in which I can see a lot of you are, if you haven't seen part 1 of this from last year, it's down below in the description. You can really catch up on all the lore of everything that happened from the last time to now. You're welcome.
This is crazy.
Is that a giant shell on the wall?
I can't really tell.
That was
She had a weird bun on top, though.
I love that these people had nothing to do with this case, but they are sitting here just drinking it in, eating popcorn, having a great old time,
having a party. All right. By the way, he talks a pretty good game. This guy, and he did last time too.
Yeah, he made a lot of sense last time.
The judge is letting him get away with quite a bit here, but also one other thing I do want to point out very quickly with this judge in particular. He's seen a lot of videos. He's seen a lot of evidence. You got to remember, he doesn't allude to it all the time. We don't get to see it. But he knows a lot about this case that we don't.
And he's seen some of the finger blasting. I mean, he's seen the old middle finger salutes.
Saw that on which I don't know why he and somebody had commented. I put it up. He should just own it. And you're right. That part. I mean, listen. Yeah. I flip her off. She's freaking crazy.
She's annoying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I flip her off when I drive by. I can't stand her. I'm sorry. But and then I don't know. Man, it's crazy.
Get your son. He's effing tweaking and he's high. And he goes, tell him to come up. And he goes, he can't move. You need to come get him.
So, ma'am,
it just
goes
goes on.
I'm gonna stop you for a second. And so, first of all, ma'am, I prefer that you not interrupt when other people are talking. And secondly, but on the other hand, she's kind of right. This doesn't really have anything to do with, I'm asking why you need an order against her.
Well, to protect myself from all these cases, all the stuff she's presenting here. The one time she has me on camera walking by her house is because I have to go to court again, right? And if you guys were gonna do a temporary anti-harassment order, I wouldn't be able to get within the distance of the ditch to film why she's taking me to court, saying I caused damages for foundation, blah, blah, blah. So when I got permission from Lana, when I went over there to help her because she was locked out of her car, I walked by Miss Pardee's front yard. I took a picture of the culvert pipe in Lana's yard. I went over to Mike's. I took a picture of Mike's culvert pipe. Shannon, I walked along Shannon's front yard on the road, and everyone walks back and forth their dogs. There's no anti-harassment, no reason that I can't walk by her house. I filmed the ditch that is completely filled in where she allows parking for two of her businesses. People come and go all the time, turn around people's driveways. It makes all of our dogs bark. It's ongoing. She's got people dropping dogs off and people going. I mean, it just never stops. So that's why I walked by her place and filmed the ditch, because I'm going to Superior Court and the courts need the evidence that I need to submit to them in the next hearing they're dragging me through. So, I mean, one court case after the next court case. And why is all this? Why now? They've lived there since late 2014, 15, and she's viciously attacking me. I can't go out my house. She's got reports. Oh, he started his truck at 7:15. Oh, he ran it for 10 minutes. Oh, he started his truck. Now he's moving his motorhome. Now he's doing this. She walks, me and the neighbor were standing in the road. She came by. I was like, oh, wow. Great, here comes such and such. She comes driving by. The neighbor's my witness. I get the dog. I walk across the street. She says I lunged at her car and stopped her from going in fear. Darla Burkett is a total witness, saw the whole thing. She says she was willing to testify. Well, guess what? Shannon got the papers, and Darla Burkett's name's in the papers. She went on Messenger. They're not friends. Why everyone's on Shannon's Messenger, her pages for Concern for Evergreen Shores, is because all the harassing things that she did to everyone out there, so they like to follow it. She is followed by 300 people had to vote her off the board because she's threatened to shoot at dogs and people. I mean, that woman, it's stacked so high.
Oh God!
You're asking for an order against Mr. Parker.
Okay, I want protection from her because she continued lying, and these are all these lies. Her dragging me into court.
I have a feeling that Bill and him actually may hang out or at least talk a little bit.
He goes by and he knocks on the window of Bill's car, and they share a brewski or two, maybe, while Bill's kicked back, relaxing in the car. Yeah.
Well, she's in there.
Have they ever said why this poor dude is stuck in the car living?
I don't think she addressed it last time. But
oof, yikes. Poor Bill.
No reason.
She said that you used a word that begins with C.
With her,
did you call her that?
When she drove by. I had my dog. We got over to this. My girlfriend, my not wife's girlfriend is what she calls them. We got to the side of the road. Her window was rolled up. I looked at Darla. I said, effing cunt. Yes, I did say that. Her window was up. Not to her. No. And my neighbor's the witness and saw the whole thing. Shannon's looking straight forward, not even looking at me. Her window rolled up. And I got it on video. There's so much stuff I didn't want to submit because you already got too much. Again,
Mr. Pardee, is he a part of this?
Mr. Pardee, he likes to him and I definitely have some verbal. He's jealous of me and Shannon because me and Shannon were really close friends for a long time.
What?
He thought me.
You guys, all right. So some of you
What?
might have been. There's been a few people in the chat that have thrown out the idea that they had a little thing or they were banging at one point. So that's interesting that he just threw that out there. So I guess I must be wrong. That he seems to have respect for Bill. That's why I say that it seems as if they've had some conversation. But now, if there's some jealousy thrown around because those two used to be friends
for 7 years, they were friends, and Bill was not happy. I mean, she is calling the one girlfriend the not wife girlfriend. What is that? Is there a trouble or frupple or kerfuffle going on over there, Creed? It's getting spicy.
No, absolutely not. I would leave in a heartbeat.
I'd be parking my car in another woman's driveway.
Right.
That's where I'd be parking my car.
No, 100%. Yeah, I'd get a divorce in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me? If it's that bad, even if maybe he's just scared of her. He doesn't dare sleep in the same house sometimes, man. This is just a crazy story.
Wait a minute. You and Ms. Pardee were friends?
Yeah, for like 7 years. I got all the screenshots when she was suing Evergreen Shores. They kicked her off the Facebook page. So I took screenshots and I'd send them to her because she couldn't get them from anyone else. And I still have all that stuff. I mean, everything. I helped her for years, unfortunately, try to sue Evergreen Shores and the people on the board.
Ooh.
And I could show the phone where I sent them to her.
So let me hear from Mr. Pardee. Mr. Pardee, could you raise your right hand, please? You swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide.
This could be
the
interesting.
whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I bet his car smells terrible.
Oh,
I'll hear from you. What's your position on all of this?
Well, I haven't heard much about why I'm named as a respondent. The stuff against my wife seems to be fairly old. That's fine. And some of this I'm to blame for because I did file a lawsuit against the HOA back in 2018. I don't know what that has to do with today. Not much. I mean, I went to the Court of Appeals. I lost that case. Lawyers do lose cases once in a while, so I lost that case. So it had nothing to do with Mr. Eden. It had to do with the HOA. I had filed this to make the court aware under 7105, 105 sub 4 RCW. I have filed. Mr. Eden's correct. I have filed a cause of action against him, Eden Trucking LLC, his trucking company, his mother, Marilyn Eden, who owns his property, and I've also filed it against Thurston County Superior Court, Thurston County Superior Court cause number 23-2-03894-34. So I just wanted to make the court aware of that if they were not. My guess is the court is aware of that. That is a pending litigation that was just filed in November, and we haven't even gotten full answers from every defendant yet. So that discovery will be ongoing. So that'll go on for a while. But if the court thinks that that's a frivolous action, as Mr. Eden's suggesting, he can defend that, and then the court can rule on that ultimately. I think that really has nothing to do. I don't think that's abusive litigation. In his petition, I'm responding directly to his petition against me. He mentions he's afraid because we filed, and I think he checked the box for abusive litigation in 2650-1020. That regards domestic violence or people that are intimate partners. Me and Mr. Eden are not intimate partners, as far as I know.
piss jokes.
Maybe him and my wife, he alleges, were intimate partners at one time. I'm not sure what he's alleging today.
There it is. Oh, wowzers. All right. Well, I mean, listen, hot damn.
So,
Wow.
Evergreen Shores, is this in Tacoma, Washington? Because I found several things. If it's the Evergreen Shores, right there off of a short distance from Highway 101 and Interstate 5, I'm very surprised if they would let him sleep in his car. It seems like a decent area.
Look like a nice
Yeah, it doesn't seem crazy. I don't know. There's a lot, it's the Evergreen State. So there's tons of there's even a nightclub called Evergreen Shores.
So that was some tea spilt there. So I if I'm not mistaken, round one of all this, I'm pretty sure we were throwing out some of that.
Yeah, we thought maybe there was some sort of animosity, but we couldn't figure out what exactly it was.
Yeah.
But at one point, they were allies, and now they're bitter enemies. I mean, that if that doesn't scream, get your junk out of my old lady, I don't know what does. Oh, food bar.
Food bar.
but I am not an intimate partner with him. The boxy check, Your Honor, has nothing to do with abusive litigation. Obviously, if anybody could run in and get anti-harassment orders when a civil action is filed in Superior Court and District Court, that'd be an interesting kind of separation of the two court systems. You can use one court system to prevent litigation and another. I don't think that's what was intended by the legislature. I will mention, he talked about, I did download that video for my wife and we submitted it to court. The video you're talking about, we recently walked around the property. He actually flipped her off twice, the video camera twice, when he was going over past Arlo Briquettes, and when he circled around back up to his second driveway, which we're litigating, he flipped her off again. So you're correct, Your Honor, he flipped her off twice. He does admit that he yelled fucking cunt. He was doing that because he saw my wife coming with her car, and my oldest son was in the car, and I think I explained that in my declaration, in her declaration. There's also a mental health matters sign. We submitted photos of that, which has floodlights on our property. It's not a security issue. It's on top of a hill 20 feet above the right of way. It shines at my wife's property all the time. It drives her nuts. It's
my wife's property.
It says mental health.
Good catch. He did just say that. You're right.
My wife's property, not his property. The property that I sleep adjacent to on the street in a car. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Mr. Pardee, but I mean, he's a lawyer. How are the other lawyers just not joking the F out of this dude having to sleep in a car? You know, they all know about it. They saw the case. They know what's up.
Not just see you next Tuesday, effing see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Matters on it. And it has spotlights pointed towards our house. That's in addition to him continually harassing my family by yelling that they're, basically disparaging kind of obscene names. He does that pretty frequently. We've had arguments in the past. That's because he's driven my family crazy. He routinely calls my kids disparaging names out. All we're asking for today, Your Honor, you don't have to put an order in of him against me. I'm not asking for an order. I'm asking for an order for my kids and my wife, because all I want to stop is the language. We can sort it out in Superior Court. Wherever that goes, it goes. That's what litigation is all about. People have a right to file land use actions. Now that litigation is fairly complex. It's not as simple as Mr. Eden describes it. He's not a lawyer, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But it has nuisance claims. It has intentional infliction of emotional distress. It has zoning actions. I think his operation of a trucking business in the neighborhood is a violation of the Thurston County Zoning Code, RL21. We'll get into that when we get to Superior Court. There's other actions too against the county for negligence and failing to stop him from filling his property back in 2007. That has caused water issues. That's 15 feet into the right of way, Your Honor. I can prove that. I have evidence of it. This is all stuff that will come out in Superior Court. But what we need during the pendency of that action, and I also attached, let me mention, Your Honor, before I get off here, I did attach the letter that was mentioned specifically in Mr. Eden's petition, the letter I sent to his mother back in, I think, in December of 2022. This is over a year and a half ago that I was talking about. I gave you a copy of the letter because I wanted you to see it. It's a typical demand letter that we all learn about in law school, Your Honor. It's a 7-page demand letter. I go through the law. I kind of cite the cases. I'm basically giving the owner a chance to reach out and talk to me. They never did. And now, ever since I filed that and filed stuff with the county in preparation for a claim with the county, which I did in prerequisite to my cause of action in Superior Court, this is when it all blew up. This is when he became enraged by the fact that I filed a cause of action. He's trying to bait me by saying, I'm jealous of him and my wife's relationship. I don't care if my wife has friends. I've never been a jealous type in that regard.
Oh, I'll sleep in the car if I need to.
They were friends at one time, so be it. They're not anymore, obviously. I think the judge hit that on the head. I don't think they're going to be friends anytime soon. But I'm not a possessive husband. And
he's brought that up 3 times now.
Yeah.
So be it, Your Honor.
Yeah. So it does bother him.
Me harassing him, nothing. He wants to humiliate me. So be it. I don't know what that accomplishes, but it's wasting the court's time. He's filed basically hundreds of pages of old stuff from previous cases. And the one classic example is, I think, dishonesty with the court, and his credibility, I think, is diminished. He says that I chased him down the street, but he doesn't give a date. I gave you the date, Your Honor. It was January 5th of 2023. Over a year ago, I chased him down the street. You know what I was doing? I wasn't a party to the action. I was actually representing my wife at the time. All I did was trying to serve documents on him. He was less than 50 feet away from me. I said, Mr. Eden, here's some documents. You know what he did? He ran down the street yelling, he has a gun. He knows I don't own a gun. He did that to try to get me shot. He's a dangerous man. He's very aggravated by this.
I don't. Do you feel that? I don't feel that at all. Here's the thing. This is part of what I love about this. He has thrown out a bunch of craziness, right? Okay, yeah. Lots going on. Although almost every single thing that he said, I can kind of believe. These two, Sharon and William, they both reach. You know what I'm saying? Like he tried to run me over in his truck. Now he tried to shoot me. That they're alleged instances are almost hard to believe. We'll just say that. Like he's trying to stop.
And it wasn't even that he was going to do it. I guess by him shouting that out, the neighbors would come out and do the job. I don't know. But I don't think Mr.
Kind of neighborhood. No,
it didn't come off that way. I don't think he should be serving papers. I mean, understand he's the lawyer and all that. Maybe we could have got somebody else to serve papers and not try and further escalate the issues.
It can't be that expensive to have somebody serve papers. It's a very common thing.
Yeah, I don't.
Man. Yeah, and keep in mind, I think that seems to be what the picture that she's painting, anyways. That seems to be the biggest thing about it is the flooding.
I think everything is a big thing with her, though. I think it's just anything and everything.
Yeah,
all at once. It's a mess.
Lawsuit. I think he's indicated that he's very aggravated by a civil lawsuit. He's lost control. And he wants to keep on harassing my family. His goal, I've overheard him up there talking to other people, is to get my family to move. His goal in harassing them daily is to get them to move. That's why he runs and idles his truck at all hours of the day for endless amounts of time. He's not going anywhere with his truck. He's idling it because he wants to drive her crazy. It's noise, it's pollution, it's regulated in industrial districts. It shouldn't even be in a residential district, but we'll get into that in the Superior Court. That's not for you today, Honor. But I want to point out that this is a serious matter.
Just burning diesel.
The HOA lawsuit that I lost has nothing to do with it. I've lost lawsuits in the past, and I've won lawsuits in the past. It doesn't make me a good or bad lawyer. Monday, you might say I'm a bad lawyer. Maybe Mr. Eden thinks that. That's fine. But lawyers file lawsuits all the time. There's litigation.
You think he has a toaster oven in there too?
One side wins. I'll let you go, Your Honor. Thank you for the time.
Like Ricky.
Do I get to respond to that at all?
Yeah. You can hear that, and then I'll come back to you, Ms. Barty. I have a question. This came up on the top. Both Mr. and Ms. Barty brought this up. What's the story on these lights and this mental health matters sign?
I've had a sign on my fence for a long time.
Yeah, how long?
Since last year.
Okay.
I had to build a fence
since all this came up.
Before this, I had to build that fence because of the harassment I was getting from the parties out of pocket.
Okay, so wait a minute. So then the sign came after the harassment started. Is that what you're saying?
No, the harassment.
You just said it's on the fence now, right?
It's on the fence.
Okay, and so you said you built the fence because of the harassment. So obviously it wasn't on the fence. The harassment.
Oh no, she's crying.
Was built. Was that sign up there before that?
It was a different. She was filming me. We didn't get to the courts yet. She was filming me in the dump truck trying to leave. So that's when I put to protect myself, because there was phone calls.
Okay, but I want to know when the sign went up.
The sign went up after she started filming me.
Okay.
And then
why would you do that?
Because she was threatening to sugar my gas tank and kill me.
Okay.
She was like, she would get out there and yell. There's so much stuff I haven't presented.
Will they do that? Sugar in the tank?
You wanted to respond. I'll let you respond.
Would that?
No, I just protection order from
cause
Bill.
Death though?
Like Bill, said himself. He says he was trying to serve me papers. I had no idea that Bill was trying to serve me papers. The prior day before Bill chased me down the street, they went to the police department and said that I tried to run them over and kill them in my dump truck. So then the next day, Bill comes around the corner of his car at a high rate of speed. He jumps out. I'm looking right. He's eye locked on me, and he starts running at me. Well, I see he's got something in his pocket. So I'm concerned. I'm like, what the heck? Because just prior they said I tried to kill him. And I'm like, you have a knife? But why does he have his hand in his pocket? So I took off running for the neighbor's house. I took off running to my house. He cut me off where I couldn't get in my driveway. So I took off running to the neighbor's house. I was going too fast. I couldn't turn. So I just kept going. He chased me probably 400 or 500 yards until a neighbor said, hey, started screaming at Bill. And then I got stuck in the neighbor's fence in the backyard, and I couldn't get over their fence. So I called 911 and was on 911 for the whole time while I was hiding in the woods. And you can hear all the neighbors' dogs barking and stuff. So I was afraid that Bill was still out there. They actually picked me up 2 blocks down the road, the sheriff's department. So that's just one incident. Then he sits there and parks outside our backyard across the street. He and I get in arguments. He left, big deal. He came back around and started another argument with me. He's saying that my mom slept with her brother and had me. I mean, it just, my sperm doesn't swim. Is that why you didn't have kids? He's cussing and swearing at me. It's all on video. I've never submitted any. The only videos I submit are the police videos. And then when the police come out, you can see Mr. Pardee is sitting there saying, I don't know if he identifies a woman or a man. I mean, he's getting aggressive. I mean, to me, this is aggressive. You don't live in this neighborhood. Why are you coming around? And my girlfriend can't even walk outside with the dogs anymore. Yes, we do have a flashlight. I got a flashlight for Christmas. Big deal. It's a flashlight. She signed it the day that Shannon might be complaining about something, and my girlfriend's a witness. She was out there with the dogs. So Shannon drove by early in the morning. My girlfriend shined the flashlight down the road. Was my girlfriend trying to cause Miss Shannon to wreck or doing this? No, obviously not. My girlfriend has nothing to do with Shannon. But they're going to make it sound like all this stuff. Just like I said, in these dates and times of things they've posted on here, none of this happened. Let's just go back to Bill, though. He just continues harassing,
Bill, though.
Multiple lawsuits. I mean, why? Why now, Your Honor? When they were on the board, they could have addressed any of these issues when they were on the board for the Evergreen Homeowners Association. But since Shannon tried to kill herself, Bill was actually at the house, and her good friend Darcy was there. Darcy knew that Shannon and I were really good friends at that time. So I was talking to Darcy, explaining to Darcy what I've been witnessing, and she was having problems with the children and Bill. So when Bill showed up there, it was the first time I got a chance to talk to Bill because he hasn't been there for years. And I said, hey, man, this is what's going on. Maybe you should know, because Darcy said it wasn't good. Didn't think she was going to make it. Shannon took a bunch of pills or something. She ended up going to the psych ward for a while afterwards to get help. Like I said, I'm not here.
So now he's throwing, now he did just say Shannon, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So she's got some issues. Yeah.
He's alleged that the kid tried to OD. Now say Shannon. By the way, Mikey, you're going to love this one. Mystic Lady. I mean, let's think about that for a second. Could you imagine? That would cause a rift if we didn't.
Yeah.
If we maybe thought in the back of our head that maybe one of it might be not.
I mean, there was a lot said in that little thing. One, why is he running from Bill? I wouldn't be afraid of Bill if Bill had 3 arms, let alone 2.
I just don't see Bill sticking up for Shannon. Like, I mean, I understand he's going to stick up to her for a little bit, but to actually go fight for her, I don't think so. You're talking about a guy that's
he must think they slept together.
Got to. Even with that, though, I don't see Bill going and throwing hands and fists in this.
He alleged also that his mother slept with her own brother, and that's where he came from. And he also brought up something that hits home for a lot of people.
Do you suffer from weak ass sperm? Maybe you feel like your swimmers aren't getting up the pipe enough. Or maybe your mother slept with her brother and, well, things are really effed up down there. Don't worry about it. There are tons of great children that are looking for homes and can be adopted. So don't shop with that weak ass sperm. Adopt.
Wow, what a message that was.
That really was. Rip. Poor Jerry.
To ruin their family. The best interest of, the kids and, the neighbors have all witnessed. There's been multiple reports. And that's why we're here, is because the phone calls to Child Protective Services, I was the only one that didn't know that when you make these phone calls, you're supposed to remain anonymous. And I didn't. So she believes that I'm the one that's been calling CPS on her. It's not. It's all the neighbors around her. Her poor kids have never even got to play in the streets or anything, because it just goes on and on, Your Honor. I just need protection because Shannon will not stop, and she has proof in all of her lawsuits with everyone. She just does not give up. She doesn't stop. She won't.
She can't stop.
I missed another day at work. You know how many days of work I've missed? This is, saying I run my truck. Yes, I can run my truck if I want to, Your Honor. I can play music if I want to. I'm not harassing her. Anything I do, she feels that I'm harassing her. You know, I got no problems with Bill. Bill don't like me, and that's fine. I never had problems with Shannon until a year ago. I mean, I don't know why they're coming
Hang
after
on
me,
just
Your
a second.
Honor.
I'm going to latch on to what
Thank you, Nancy.
You're asking for more.
100% Nancy.
Well, when he's chasing me down the road, like,
Okay, so I mean, well,
that's my
you want
problem.
an order against him or not?
I didn't have problems with Bill until he started chasing me. Yes, I would like to have. I'd like
I
to.
didn't get Bill get locked up for that, by the way.
That's a good question. I would think that is enough to get
Quick
locked
as
up.
these people are calling the law.
Right.
Why wasn't Bill placed in
Yeah.
cuffs for this alleged situation? I don't know. It's maybe he's playing it a little over the top, but again, the Shannon stuff is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
For any of you that are here late, we discussed in the beginning the reason why the kid's face is covered up for those exact obvious reasons. And Pamela said it a couple times, just some random people that now
They're
are
just
off
waiting
court.
for their case. We'll
Yeah.
come. We'll get to know them, I'm sure, in the next couple of days.
But yeah, they literally went and got snacks now because this is such a good case, which is too funny.
Well, he does.
Well, because he gets, Your Honor, if he's there, he's long enough there to drop off some milk and maybe pick up a kid and drop a kid off. He does not ever. The few nights that he spends in
How
his
would you
car
know
on
that?
the street is it.
Because he watches us all the time.
Hey, ma'am. Okay, hang on just a second.
And you know, the other judge said there was nothing wrong with my signs.
Mm.
What's wrong with my sign? It's Christmas lights. I had a Christmas tree up once, and she said I was intimidating and harassing her by having a little tiny 6-foot Christmas tree with white lights on it. I have pictures and videos of her on her porch, yodeling, doing some crazy things with so many bright lights that it's just a blur. And she has lights on her front yard now. She has red and blue lights just like I do in her front yard. How come they don't bother her, but my red and blue lights across the street bother her? And the spotlights they're saying, there's 60 watts. A 60 watt, it's not a spotlight. They just over dramatize everything. That's why
Stop yodeling, Shannon. DJ, welcome, making absolutely great choices. I'm going to back that up just a couple seconds.
Very wise choice there, DJ. Welcome to the doghouse. You'll
Yeah,
be
just
sleeping in the
think
car with Bill later on tonight.
Just think, this dude, you know, he's got to listen to all this, but he's already read through everything, seen videos, everything. I can't imagine. It just goes on and on and on.
lights that it's just a blur. And she has lights on her front yard now. She has red and blue lights just like I do in her front yard. How come they don't bother her, but my red and blue lights across the street bother her? And the spotlights they're saying, there's 60-watt light bulbs. A 60-watt, it's not a spotlight.
60
They
watts.
just over dramatize everything. That's why I need protection. All I'm doing is trying to go to work. You know, my mom is being drugged into these courts. My mom is 70 years old. She's like, what is going on, honey? I'm like, these people just won't stop. That's it. I mean, they just will not ever leave me alone until, and here's the deal. If you do an anti-harassment order protection, this is what they did the last time. All she tried to do is get me in trouble. So I had to protect myself. So anytime that she came within the distance, I had to call Thurston County. Well, they even said, they even have the videos and everything that was submitted to you that she broke it. They forwarded this stuff to the prosecuting attorney. But the thing is how this court system works. If you don't have it in 5 days prior, they don't get it. So guess what? We missed that window. We continue missing the windows. You know, this is not my full-time job. This is Shannon's job. Shannon doesn't work. Shannon has, I don't know what Shannon does. She's got
They
people
said I
coming
had
to go
2
drop
jobs.
dogs off.
Okay, so ma'am, you just need to.
She collects free money. I mean, there's just, like I said, I knew Shannon for a long time. So I know what Shannon's capable. That's why I'm afraid of Shannon, because she will not stop this process. And she's going to continue. Like I said, this has been over a year. What have I really done? What one picture, maybe me flipping her off with the phone, or who knows? I mean, not her. It'd be her camera. I've never personally flipped Shannon off. She knows that. I don't even see her kids. Like I said, her kids are not allowed to play in Evergreen Shores because of all the lawsuits they've had against people there. So everyone's afraid. They don't want their kids. They don't want Shannon's kids around, you know. And then when the Shannon's kids were able, when they first moved there, they were showing bruises. The parents were concerned for the children. This is this talk. It just goes on and on.
So
Yeah, I need protection from both of
So
them.
here's what Ms. Pardee, do you want to say anything?
Your Honor, there were never any bruises, and Mr. Eden's continuous inflammatory statements about my children being abused, that's more harassment. It is not true. And my children are tired of it. I am tired of it. I don't just need the harassment order and protection, Your Honor. My children do. Mr. Eden is the one that runs out to the road. Mr. Eden is the one that is out there at the road. Yes, let's bring Mrs. Burkett in as she's standing there, closing her eyes, turning her head as he's repeatedly calling me a fucking cunt with my 15-year-old in the car when I am what? Trying to leave the neighborhood.
While your 15-year-old, I think, is sitting next to you, lady.
So that's the 12-year-old next to her.
Oh, even better. Even better. Again, yeah, how is that? How does that make sense? Because he says that in front of an older child, by the way, and we're trying to make that make sense. The 12-year-old sitting next, unreal. That part of it is just the part of it, the child being there is one of the most concerning parts of all of it. And,
why would you think it was okay?
And I hope the judge says something.
On the public right-of-way that was put there for me to leave. And with Mr. Eden's illegal fill, I can't go to the right or the left now because he's got an illegal driveway to the left. So and with the fence and then everything else he put up there, imagine, Your Honor, you're talking over 500 dump truck loads of dirt. So he took the ditch away, rose up.
So, ma'am, I'm not interested in any of the dirt or any of the. That doesn't matter.
The dynamic is instead of it being an egress to a house, he's now with a hill and a fence right over the road. I can't even go to my mailbox. If I go to my mailbox, it's over by him, and then he yells at me, "Fucking cat!" I have video last night as I'm just trying to exit with Jonathan from my dash cam of him behind the fence giving me the finger. That's a daily occurrence if he's there. He's not trying to ignore us.
Let's see these daily videos. We need to see daily videos.
Oh,
every day. She's got turned up water down her yard.
Okay, so just
Your Honor, I have to take
ma'am.
daily
Okay,
because it keeps track of the noise levels. 40 minutes, 60 minutes of a dump truck or a diesel truck idling in this neighborhood for no reason at all. They don't go to work. They're just there idling.
so ma'am, I'm going to stop you. Okay. And I'm ready to rule. And here's what's going to happen today. First of all, I guess I don't know whether I should say
when the judge makes some when he says he's about ready to rule and then he makes some weird noise like I don't think that's a good sign. I don't.
it's having a time.
Oh man!
Every time I say that and then say it, people told me I shouldn't have said it, but I'm going to say it right now. That individual seated to your left should not be here for all this. It shouldn't. I don't know how old that person is, whether he looks to be 13, 14, maybe 12, 13, but this is not an appropriate thing for him to be involved in. It's just not. So there's that. Second thing that Mr. Pardee made a comment about lawsuits. I've won some, I've lost some, and all that sort of stuff. And what's going to happen today is everyone's going to win, everyone's going to lose. So I'm granting both orders, both Mr. Eden's orders against the Pardees, and I'll grant your order against Mr. Eden. And the parameters of the order, there's not going to be a distance restriction. So you don't need to worry about coming. You can't go onto their property, but you can't do that anyway, because that's that would be trespassing, of course. The basis for the order on behalf of Mrs. Pardee is that you did, by your own testimony, apparently flipped off. You did use the word that she apparently heard. She wouldn't have. He said her window was open for that, but she found it out somehow. So I mean, obviously that was heard. I would find that that's harassing behavior. The pattern be shown by Ms. Pardee and Mr. Pardee. And again, I did looked at the whole file, and I didn't look at the other orders, but everything that's been submitted, on a.
Yes.
I'm not out there. I don't live out there. I don't know what's going on. But if a quarter of this, if an eighth of this is accurate, and I believe we've reached that threshold, this is just no way to live from either party, either the Pardees or Mr. Eden. And so for the next year, the parameters of the order is going to be, and again, I'll find that both have engaged in patterns of conduct that have harassed the others. And basically the order is issues not to cause you any physical harm, not to contact, including the minors. Don't engage with the minors, and don't engage in stalking behavior. There is not a stay away provision given the proximity that you live to each other. There's not like, don't come within, don't be out there with a tape measure. Don't come within 500 feet. Don't come in with 100 feet or anything like that. You guys just can't talk to each other, can't communicate with each other, and just don't be involved in each other's lives, which is what I think you both want. So what does that mean?
Your Honor, can I ask a question?
I'm not done yet, Mr. Pardee. I'm not done yet. And that doesn't mean that I'm not trying to regulate how Mr. Eden runs his garbage trucks or anything like that. There's just, I don't have any control over that. And I don't, what he has to do for that, that's not necessarily, you might think it's harassing, but it's not. The basis for these orders are the interaction and communication or lack thereof that is communicated, that has been gone back and forth between the parties. His lights, I'm not regulating any placements of any lights or anything like that either. And again, I just can't, what might seem harassing to you isn't necessarily, or I can't objectively find as harassing behavior, but the harassing behavior, again, is the verbal interaction between all parties that has been shown through the filings as well as the testimony here in court
Mount
today.
up.
Mr. Pardee, I'm done now. And so now I guess when Mr. Eden earlier had said that you got on whatever social media website you reference and trashed the previous judicial officer, maybe you both can get on there and trash me here today, but neither one of you should have any communication with the other. So I'm granting your order, Mr. Pardee, that he's not have contact with you, but it's going both ways. Mr. Pardee, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, it's sort of important, Your Honor. I mean, you're putting an order in against me. I don't think there's any evidence of any harassment by me, but that's fine.
For me.
Also, I'm the attorney. I have to talk to the other side. I have to serve documents. We have an agreement to do email service. Are you going to make an exception?
Just a minute. I'm going to stop you, Mr. Pardee.
Me neither.
I will include language in there. It says, except in the course of litigation. And what's that cause number in Superior Court?
I'll give it to you now, Your Honor. 23-2. 03894-34. And I have an agreement with Mr. Eden to serve by email.
Just wait a minute. Let me make sure I get that number. Except 03894-34.
Yeah, 23-2-03894-34.
All right.
Your Honor, what contact am I supposed to, or what harassing? I don't understand. I haven't talked to him. I don't talk to him. I get in my car and I try to leave. How is it that I'm harassing him?
Ma'am, I've said before,
you gotta like it,
but
you gotta live it.
Right.
Based on the filings, combined with your testimony, I'll make a finding that you have engaged in harassing behavior, and an order is going to be entered.
Yeah, well, if you could explain to me what that harassing behavior is, I'd like to know so that I can prevent doing it in the future. And you haven't told me or proven to me that I've done anything, so it's very confusing. So I'm asking you to point out what that harassing behavior is so that I can get with my caregiver and we can make sure that doesn't happen in the future.
Caregiver?
In the future, what I want to see going forward in the future is just no communication or interaction with Mr. Eden at all.
I do not talk to Mr. Eden or interact with him at all. Do I record my front yard?
Based on the,
you bet I do, and I'm going to keep doing it. I don't talk to him. I try to leave my driveway. He's the one that comes and yells at me. So I'm asking again for you to clarify how I stop harassing him when I don't talk to him. I don't flip him off. I don't go near him. I simply leave my driveway, enter and exit. So how is it you would like me to not harass him when I'm already not doing anything? What more would you like me to not do? Stop breathing, because I'm really confused.
Please.
The victim here, Shannon, the victim.
Judge Wilcox made it where he couldn't represent her.
Poor.
Please tell me.
Meyer, I'm very confused though. One thing, what did I do to harass Mr. Eden? He's talking about an incident that happened in January. That's unfair, Your Honor. You're putting an order.
Oh,
against me. I don't even live there. Allegedly, you're putting an order against me. I've never harassed Mr. Eden.
I don't live there, allegedly.
There's no proof in the file. There's no proof in the file that I harassed him at all.
None.
I'm an attorney in the state of Washington. You're putting an order against another attorney for what? What did I do?
And you're allowing Mr. Eden to keep the kids' dad away from helping helping us. It's already, he already said, Jeff already admitted Bill hasn't done anything to him. Oh, we're almost buds, but I want this order. And
So when I
there
go
you
to court now, Your Honor, I have to be fearful that I'll be set up. When I go
That's
to court now, when
exactly
I
what
walk
you're
into the
doing.
courthouse, I will be set up by Mr. Eden. Thank you. Because now I can't go to court without feeling safe because I have a no contact order that you're putting
Oh,
in
wait a
place.
minute. This
I've
judge
done
works
nothing.
for Thurston County and we're suing them. Isn't this?
That's
a
I've never even
coincidence?
Suing the
been
county.
named as the respondent, Your Honor, until I filed that action in Thurston County Superior Court in November. That's why I'm named as a respondent now. I was never named as a respondent in the past. Mr. Eden says he has no problem with me. But now you're putting
all
a
of a sudden
restraining
he
order
does.
in me. That doesn't make any sense, Your Honor. But I guess so be it.
Okay.
Isn't there
So
some
I've
kind of
included-
3-day appeal?
I want to point out one. Obviously, they're going back and forth, and the judge is taking that very good and letting them, I guess, get it out. I suppose
A lot of judges would be muted them and throw them out. Already.
Absolutely.
Say you'll get your paperwork in the mail.
so. Now Sharon's throwing out there into the universe that he's only doing this because they have some sort of something going on.
They are suing everybody. By the way, everything we've said here has been completely for parody and satire, and
That's
everything
right.
else is alleged. Just
And
so
if
you
you
know.
want to sue me, I have
Good luck.
nothing to give you, so I feel free, hon.
You want this frozen up fountain? Fine, it's yours.
That's right. It is frozen.
In 23-000-435, I've included the parties, you folks, may communicate with Jeffrey Eden in the course of litigation in Thurston County Superior Court number 23-2 -000-435-34. I'll also indicate, Mr. Pardee, the parties may appear in court together, but there's not a
Your Honor,
distance
that's not the right cause number.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. It's 3803894. My mistake. You have it, White, huh?
there are way bigger.
Say it again, Your Honor.
covered this.
23-2-038
Way more money.
-34.
Yes, that is correct.
And does that include when I'm at the courthouse, Your Honor, about to go into the courthouse?
No, there's no distance restriction. You can go to and from the courthouse at all.
Well, I'm
But
saying, am I
anytime-
violating the no contact order by being there and seeing Mr. Eden outside the courthouse?
No,
No.
no, you're not. If
Okay.
it's
Even I know
litigation,
that.
You're absolutely not.
Now, how
So
about
again-
when we're trying to come and go from our home and he's got an illegal second driveway and we can't get out? We can't
Illegal.
get to our home
She
without.
hates that driveway. She's mentioned it so many times, the illegal driveway. And I remember in round one, she made a case against that thing too.
Illegal second driveway. On rise. Good to see you, Jordan. Jordan.
Past him and he's always running out there
Yeah,
saying.
and
he's
you
voting
can do
with-
that. You can, again, there's not a distance restriction. There's nothing that restricts you to going to and from your home.
Yes, but you are giving him an order and he is the one that gets in the road and blocks the car. Just because this guy says, I didn't do that, if you believe him, oh my God. But that is not the
If you,
truth. He's
if he
lying.
blocks the road, that's something you can report to the police or obstruct or something like that.
Also, Your Honor, the mental health matters sign will remain in place.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, that's up to Mr.
You can't-
That's up to Mr. Eden.
Can't
It's
tell
not
them
a-
to
So
take
you
one.
heard that he put the fence up.
Floodlight-
It's not a bad sign. I mean, if it's, it says
The
F
C
off, you
word
can't
or
do it.
yeah, something like that on it. Sure, that's being involved. I mean,
What does Bill and Sharon have against people that are
yeah.
advocating,
And if
mental
anybody's
health
getting here now, yeah,
awareness?
it just the sign says mental health matters,
Right.
and it's got
Yeah.
lights on it.
I mean,
So
mental
you can
health
see-
awareness is good, by the way.
I mean, it is. It's definitely something that's swept under the rug too much. But I just these two. I mean, almost if I was the judge, I'd say, you know what? I'm taking one out against you guys too because you're harassing the hell out of me right now. I mean, this
Really
is my
are.
own TPO.
They have in the midst of her talking about being so confused about how she has been towards him.
I keep taking.
What?
The C word matters. I had removed it.
Oops. Oh, yeah.
It just lingered. It seemed like.
No, I was trying to. It was jumpy again. Anyway, she's sitting there trying to be confused about her harassing him, but yet in the meantime, she's harassing the judge, both of them, and Bill. These people are nuts. The kid right next to him, never forget.
The mental health matters sign.
They're going to continue taking me to court constantly. I mean,
I can't stop them from
it's up to
doing
you
that.
guys.
Well, Mr. Eden, you took me to court. I didn't take you to court.
Okay, so hey,
What are you talking about?
So stupid.
They just called him stupid.
Yeah, he's a great lawyer.
Like I said, they started this, not me.
Okay, so just stop. It's going to end now.
It's not me, it's you. I have enjoyed Little Linda's S1, S2, S3, S6. I don't know what that all means, but
I don't get it. Do your thing, Little Linda.
yeah. I don't know what it is, but you're doing a great job. Susie Q.
Wow.
All right, so it's over. We're done with that. And if you're just getting here, before you rewatch this video, make sure you have watched the very first appearance that went on, because you do not want to miss all of that juicy goodness. I'm telling you, with peace and love,
And
you
it's
do not want to miss it, because
linked down below, by the way.
I mean,
Round
that
it.
right there's the sign, by the way. If you look back there on that wooden sign,
Yeah.
that's the sign that says mental health matters.
And yes, I'm sure it has everything to do with her, but still,
Oh, I'm
you can
sure
get
it's
away
a
with it.
swipe at her. Of course it is.
Yeah.
But you can regulate that. And look at the fence they got around their yard. That's got one of those, like you push a button and it opens.
It's a good size fence. She said that she had to get a gate too, apparently, for her. Whatever. God, good luck with all that, you people.
Bless
My-
everyone, please, for
Oh.
goodness sakes.
That is absolutely crazy. But yeah, seriously, if you haven't seen round one, it's worth a watch, for sure.
I hope they get it together, because peace and love is a process.
Oh yeah, that's progress, baby.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Hey!
Bye-bye. The Wind Chill Sucks Express, Jeff H, Gary, Chris with the fur, Nancy, and DJ. Welcome. Thank you guys so much. Be back. Wild Woman Wednesday, one of the best times of the week for We Gotta Chase today.
4 doozies, and I mean doozies, each with their own complaints, gripes, and wildness, we'll say.
Well,
Make sure as well, 3 p.m. Eastern time on the main channel, there'll be a new court upload of a lady who wants to be released from jail simply because it's her birthday.
does that work? Well, I guess
We'll find out. Make sure you go watch that. Find out if Judge DeSanto feels like, you know what? It being your birthday is a good reason. Go get drunk again. Why not? If you have neighbors that are as bad as this one, please don't take matters into your own hands. Take them to court.
Four doozies at 4:05.
Yeah. I was Doug Llewellyn, by the way.
Doug Llewellyn.
Don't take matters into your own hands. Take them to court.
That's